Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 212. Open your damn eyes. Why do I say open your damn eyes? The world around us is a beautiful place. I would say it's almost heavenly. And people always have difficulty in their minds with the world around them. That they're always complaining about their relationships, what they have, what they don't have, their job stinks. There's no hope for the future. And really, this is an issue of hope. That if you can't recognize God's beauty around you, then are you really a faithful, good Christian in the world? Because if you're always doting, if you're always down on yourself, down on the people around you, down on your situation in life, and I'll give you an example, by the way, that I was watching a Jordan Peterson video the other day, and this young woman stood up, and she was a little bit pudgy, a little bit overweight. She obviously had enough to eat. She was sitting in an air-conditioned auditorium. She was wearing, fine clothes, and she said, you're always talking about cleaning up your own room, but how about when all the problems of the world around you are so bad, such as global climate change, that aren't you supposed to not concentrate on yourself, and you're supposed to actually grab everybody around you to fight the big social evil and demon? And I thought about this for a second. And so Jordan Peterson came up and he said, hey, do you have it better than your grandparents? And she wouldn't answer the question because the answer is an obvious yeah, absolutely. She does have it better than her grandparents. And and she didn't answer it. She wouldn't actually say that she did. She was just pointing to that there's so many problems in the world, particularly climate change, that she's going to focus all her energies on that. And I think what Jordan Peterson was trying to have her say is that she has very little gratitude for the beauty of the world around her, that she's always looking for difficulties in the world, always looking for problems in the world, always looking for like these big, massive movements that we could join together and stomp out all this like a disaster type scenario that's going to occur in the future. And I think that's very distracting from the issue at hand, because the issue at hand is not global climate change. It's not the environment. It's not feminism. It's not equality. It's not this. The issue at hand is ourselves. It's how we engage the world and what we do for ourselves. And that's the whole Jordan Peterson thing, is first we have to clean up our own damn room. If we do that, and then we can master ourselves and then master how we interact with the world, then we could go on to try to affect good change within the world. But she was a college kid, this girl. She obviously had a problem with eating, right? So she didn't master that in herself. She obviously didn't appreciate her stance in life, because she had it better than people did, say, 60 years ago during the Great Depression, 70, 80 years ago during the Great Depression. She would admit that she had it better than, say, 200 or 300 years ago. Like literally by yesterday's standards of 100 or 200 years ago, that like we should all be kings. I look at the car I drive, I look at the house I live in, I look at the pool I get to swim in, I look at the air conditioning I get to work in, and these are things we should all be grateful of, and it also displays the great beauty of God all around us. And if we're not willing to look at that beauty of God with gratefulness, and then we come into the lack of hope department, because then we start despairing and like, oh, the world's a bad place, we have to change that, we have to change this. Oh, and they're never happy enough trying not to change the world. And so I guess this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. You should look at yourself and look at the beauty in the world around you, because ultimately God is in charge. God's in charge, and we don't have to sit there and tear down all these social structures and create all this angst in the world where we're constantly battling and fighting each other. And so I've said this before in my own mind, to some friends. I haven't said on Catholic Dad video, how much hope should we have? I'll tell you how much hope we should have. You ready for this? When the noose is around our neck and it's at the hour of our death and somebody's about to kill us for being a good Christian, we should be hopeful, because if we're Christians and we're true believers in the glory of God, that moment in our life should be one of great hope. And if we don't have hope at that moment in our life, then how are we going to have hope at any other point in our life? Well, so certainly the hour of your death, that would be a hard time to have hope. That would be difficult, but we should have hope at the hour of our death. So then, therefore, let's rewind to the everyday living of our lives. We have all these kids, they're difficult, they fight with us, so we have all these problems at work, the difficulty, we have carbon emissions, we have global warming, we have, trade with China, we have, infiltration of the church from communists, you name it. We could sit there and just be ungrateful idiots all day long, every day, and never actually realize that we're living in God's kingdom and that the future is bright and beautiful because God's in charge. And so everybody, at the hour of your death, as that noose tightens around your neck and it's about to take your life, you should be hopeful because God's in charge. And if you can recognize that at the hour of your death, it is only so much easier throughout the world. And so this is a problem that the traditionalists have in my mind. When I say traditionalists, that there is no other possibility other than the way they want it. It has to be the good bishops and the good priests. They can never say anything slightly wrong or heretical. And otherwise they're going to throw a tantrum and yell and scream and just be mad. No, you don't do that. Because the noose is not around your neck. You realize the glory and the gratuity you have in the present moment. And take it with graciousness and realize that you're in God's world and that you need to concentrate on yourself to affect change in the world. You affect change in yourself first. And so this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe. Get the Mass and pray the daily rosary. God bless you all.